Oh, okay. I'll talk to you after I do this morning motivation. Good morning. I know I'm a little late. It's Jimmy Morse, your lawyer's favorite lawyer, with morning motivation. And here's what I want to talk about today, and I may seem a little rushed because I got a couple things I have to do shortly. But I titled it, "You Have to Step Out of the Boat to Walk on Water." A lot of times in life, we want guarantees. We want it to be almost right. We want it to be perfect before we step out. Before we take a risk on anything, we want everything to be perfect. And oftentimes things are not perfect because you won't even discover things until you get into it. I have a couple of friends that worked with me at the airport, and they flew a couple of weeks ago down to someplace in Georgia. And they went to Georgia to go skydiving. And so I asked them about the experience. And when they told me about the experience, he says, once I was out the plane, it was either enjoy the experience or, not enjoy the experience, but I was going to the ground anyway. And he said it was nothing like it. That's often how life is. Sometimes you got to get out of the comfort zone. You got to get out of the comfort of that plane to see that you can live through an experience like skydiving. You won't know if you can walk on water until you get out of the boat, because the boat is your security. The boat is the place that holds you right there, but you don't know what your faith or what your lessons or what your teaching or what anything that you've done to develop yourself works until you try it. I often look at people who say they can do these things. I can fly. Well, how do you know you can fly unless you jump off a cliff? If a bird is in a nest, the mother takes softness out of the nest. And eventually, if the bird won't fly, the mother kicks the bird out, because that's the only way that bird is going to get out of the comfort zone and learn to fly. So either that bird has to die or it has to fly. And that's where we are. We are at a place where we want everything to be easy and comfortable, and we relax and get back to mantras like, well, I guess that wasn't meant for me. Well, it's not meant for you because you quit everything you try. Every time it gets difficult, you quit. That's why you say it's not meant for you. And then you say something comforting to yourself that allows you to be lazy and not do what you're supposed to do, allows you to quit. Well, if it's meant for me, nobody can stop it. Well, it might be meant for you, but it might be some pain associated with it. It might be some discipline associated with it. It might be some sacrifice associated with it. The marathon may be made for you, but you got to train. Being a doctor might be made for you, but you have to train. And you have to decide you're going to take a leap of faith. And once you take that leap of faith, you can see where your faith gets you. And if your faith hasn't gotten you where you need to be, you can shore your faith up because you got to go. So I want you to think about this. Think about this. If you don't try something, you never know if you can do it or not. And sometimes when you try things, you'll find out along the way that you'll fail at those things, and you still are okay. And you learn that you fail at a specific thing, and then you learn how to do it better. I've learned through my travels places to buy things all over the world. I've learned the cheapest places to buy things. That's trial and error. Sometimes I've overspent. Sometimes I've taken a trip and it costs too much. Sometimes I get it right on the first time. But I would never know unless I had a passport and got on a plane. And you're the same way. You have to step out of your comfort zone. Stop waiting on people to give you guarantees. Stop waiting on that perfect person to come and introduce themselves to you. Take a leap of faith with somebody who's showing you something different than you've seen before. If you've never left North Little Rock or Little Rock, and someone is trying to show you something about Atlanta, maybe you ought to think about it, because here's the deal. You don't know if you like the thing or not. If you're in business and someone's trying to give you a concept that may work for you, a win-win, try it. It may beat the $12 an hour job that you have. You got to step out of the comfort zone. You don't know, just like Peter in the Bible did not know if he could walk on water till he stepped out. And when he stepped out, he realized he could walk on water just like Jesus could. You don't know what you can do until you try yourself. You don't know what you're capable of until you test yourself. You don't know what you're capable of until you discipline yourself. But you're not going to find it on the comfort of your couch. Get up, get out, get something. Get off the cliff. Get out the boat. Walk on water.